And APB, American Protection Bureau, voted #1 best on Long Island for all your security needs. Call 631-390-9050. That's 631-390-9050. APB.
Well, what are we talking? We're talking TNA. Well, you think it would be smart of TNA to not give him the title with all this attention?
No, you're right there. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I'm not going to disagree with you on that at all.
How do you think he would do if
John
he was
Cena?
full-time in WWE?
We spoke about it a couple of shows.
How do you think he would do full-time if he was in WWE, Hendry, full-time?
Well, I think they're setting him up for it, man. They're keeping him on NXT now, so
right.
I think he has a chance. I don't know though. RJ Hudson says he was digital media champion. I mean, that makes sense. I don't know, Jimmy. I'm not so sure, to be honest with you. I'm really not. I am intrigued a little bit.
Oh yeah.
To be honest,
I am too. No, I am too.
I am intrigued
He's interesting. Bit. Can't say he's not interesting, so there is that. We'll just have to see where it goes.
John Cena, dude, we talked about that a little bit. What are your thoughts about John Cena retiring, but he's going to finish out 2025?
Well, I think it's cool that he's doing it. I am a little surprised that he's doing it, but I guess the real story, there is a story in there. He's going to be chasing for that elusive 17th title. I've never been a big fan of John, but, how can you not at least, acknowledge? Oh, I used the word acknowledge. You're almost supposed to do that for Roman. How can you not acknowledge?
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. I mean, how can you not acknowledge John's career? Am I looking forward to it? It all depends what they do with it. I mean, it could be fantastic, but I've been burnt out on John for years. I was way ahead of the pack. I was with most people. I was with the Cena sucks people. Okay, So for me, it'll be great because they'll probably make it great. He's got the right people to work with. He's still John Cena. He's a superstar, so it should be entertaining. I am impressed that he's going to do a lot of house shows. I think that's very cool. He's doing it the blue collar route, and I do appreciate that. But you must be really pumped. More importantly, how do you feel about it? You must be very, very pumped.
I gotta tell you, dude, I'm fucking so surprised at you right now in regards to Cena. We're gonna play a little head-to-head, do Cena versus Flair, right? I think it's definitely a good time. Again, if I don't jack up the production. As you see, Jimmy, the production is getting a little better as I'm drawing up pictures.
It's John Cena and Ric Flair.
And trying to hold a conversation with you. I'm a little disappointed that you said you're burnt out on Cena.
Why wouldn't I?
The more and more you think about it, Cena is probably one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. He's definitely on the Mount Rushmore. He carried I think you could. Would it be fair to say Cena and Hulk Hogan carried the WWE on their shoulders at their time when they were champions?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I do. I can't add much more to it than that.
I think we spoke about it. We spoke on another show very, very casually, but I believe you felt that the WWE was going to give Cena the elusive, 17th championship, right? Which would make him the most champion in history. We also know that Randy Orton is 1 behind 16, and I think Charlotte Flair is probably only 4 behind, right? And they did take the NXT title, but I'm kind of veering off the point. If Cena wins that belt, does Cena become the greatest champion of all time?
To me, no. It means that he won the belt the most times, but to me, no. I still feel that the greatest and most important champion in WWFE history is Hulk Hogan, and I will always feel that way because of the fact that
Well,
it
forget.
started with,
How about
it
forget
started with
about that?
nothing and turned into everything. 9 straight WrestleManias, et cetera, et cetera. No, I still think Hulk Hogan is the greatest. It's not always about how many championships you win in pro wrestling. This isn't baseball with the Yankees with their 27 championships. This is not baseball. This is professional wrestling. So no, I won't look at him as the greatest pro wrestler that ever lived, if that's what you're getting at. No.
But okay, but you mentioned WWE. Forget about WWE. How about
Yeah.
just in wrestling history? I mean, does he become greater than Ric Flair with that 17th title?
Well, when I saw that we're going to have Ric Flair and John Cena head to head, I actually got a sick feeling in the pit of my stomach because we're probably going to wind up really yelling at each other during this one. Do I
We
think that
might.
he'll be great? Do I think that he'll be greater than Ric Flair? I think success wise, merchandise wise, monetarily wise, numbers wise, yeah. But will he be greater than Ric Flair to me? No. No, he will not. He will not be greater than Ric Flair. And that's all comes down to personal opinion at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it'll be my opinion that Ric Flair is still a greater all around everything, especially in his prime. Circumstances and marketing and everything else aside, which is really hard to do, but I'm just going by how I look at wrestlers themselves, not just what they profit or what they don't profit or whatever. I will probably still look at Ric Flair as the superior product, and that's my opinion. It's my opinion on it,
I think I think I have to call you out on that though, Jimmy.
Well, I
You're
figured you
kind
would.
of no, but I think you're kind of, and again, we don't want to get into the head-to-head portion. I don't want to go into the whole mic thing. We'll get into that. But you're kind of
Right.
like giving me a softball here. It's like, okay, I understand better. That's fair. I can't argue that point. That's your decision. But you have to give me reasons why. Is it because Cena only worked for one organization? Is it, what would the
Well,
main
well,
reason be that
well,
you feel
well.
he's that way?
All of those things will come into play when we do head to head. So I don't want to ruin the head to head segment because part of that falls into that. If you understand what I'm getting at, all right. So
Right.
basically, again, it's just my personal opinion. We can get into the particulars when we start the head to head because the head to head is going to be an absolute slobber knocker, not to quote JR. And it's not a softball answer when I gave you the answer I just did, knowing who I'm speaking with and how much you love John Cena and knowing what John Cena is to the WWE, since we're both diehard WWE fans. I don't think it's a softball answer I just gave you. I just said that I feel that Ric Flair is greater than John Cena. There ain't nothing softball about that, you know? So it is what it is. That's just how I look at it, I feel like Ric Flair is, one more title. So what? Do I think it's going to be great? Yeah. Do
All
I
right,
think it's
hold
going to be
on, hold
dramatic if
on.
he does it?
Luce is saying
Yeah.
Cena might be 9 or 10 for me, but no higher. Still amazing and a great role model. So we value that in too.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Let's just talk about our Mount Rush. Let's talk about the legit Mount Rushmore, historically. What's the word you always use? Like, not relevant, but historically accurate, or no love, no
Right.
feelings behind it, just actual factual.
Right.
Give me your Mount Rushmore.
Of what? Of wrestling all time or of the WWE?
Wrestling all time.
All time. That changes everything. If we're doing about
No
WWE,
feelings.
then
No
Cena's on it,
feelings.
of all time. Hogan, Austin. Very interesting. Of all time, Cena.
Can I ask you something about Austin?
Yeah.
How does Austin make your list being hotness? Like his time was literally 3 years, that window.
Yeah, I understand that. I stretch it out a little longer than that. I feel like it's from 96 to 2002. Yes, there was injuries and stuff like that, but I still feel like Austin catapulted the business to an even higher level of success. Uh, the Attitude Era was insane. It was absolutely insane. So Hogan and Austin to me are obvious. I think it's wrong to ignore Cena. You know, so I think Cena would probably be on a Mount Rushmore. Again, that's not my personal opinion you're asking me for. You're asking me to be historically responsible. You know, and if I'm
Yeah,
being
right. Historically responsible.
if I'm being consistent, the fourth one becomes a shootout between The Rock and The Undertaker, and I'm probably going to have to say The Undertaker if I'm being historically responsible.